It's certainly a rare honor to be commanding the Guard of Honor being presented to a visiting foreign dignitary, in this case none other than the US President Barack Obama. But Wing Commander Pooja Thakur did get that honor today, and she joins us now. Wing Commander, congratulations. What did it feel like when you were first told, I believe a few days ago, that it would be you would be commanding the Guard of Honor to the US President?
Well, it was a proud moment for me, and it's going to be a memorable experience also at the same time, presenting the Inter-Services Guard of Honor, being also the First Lady officer to command such, and of course, like you said, to the US President.
Absolutely, and that's important. The first woman in the Indian Armed Forces to lead a tri-services Guard of Honor, and that too just happens to be Barack Obama. So that's a huge honor. Within the services, it's a very big deal.
Within the services, I think I wouldn't say it's too much of a big deal, because we officers first,
Right.
Being a lady or being a gentleman is much later. You're an officer first, so you always prepared for these kind of things. You get the training, you trained for all this, along with your male counterparts for all of them. But yes,
I think that's an important point that you make, that often, the women are stereotyped in the services, but when in fact there are no barriers which actually exist. It's certainly in terms of the jobs that you are given. It's the same for men and women, and that's been the case now for many years.
Absolutely, absolutely. Our roles and appointments, our training, everything is similar. It's same, it's equal.
But let's talk a little bit more about Barack Obama. What did it feel like when you saw him, when you saluted him in close proximity? What were you thinking about?
Oh, what was I thinking about? Oh, firstly you have to be sure that what you're going to do. So you don't have to, your focus has to remain correct, that you're presenting a Guard of Honor, so it has to be at the highest standard. And because you're representing the services and you have a contingent of men behind you who are looking up to you for the right kind of command.
Yeah.
So that's the focus at that time. Of course, seeing Mr. Barack Obama is also, up so close is not an opportunity which everybody would get.
And tell us a little bit about the training, just for this one small occasion. For all of the men over there who you were commanding, it took them a lot of practice and a lot of training, a lot of discipline.
Yes, it took a lot of practice and discipline, but I wouldn't say it was a practice and discipline of the past 2-3 days. Mm-hmm. It's the discipline which is ingrained in us, in all of them, right from the days you're inducted. Mm-hmm. So it's a process which happens all the time.
It kicks in at the right time.
Absolutely, absolutely.
There are lots of young women, young girls who would be watching you now. Many of them would just be finishing school, for example. Some of them might contemplate joining the armed forces. What would you tell them?
Oh, I think you could just tell them that this is a service which is not a job. It's a lifetime relation which you build up with not only yourself, but with the entire country, because you spread it out across all over. And it's a way of life which is no other job or no other profile can give you ever. Yeah. So it's an opportunity. If you get a chance, then I think to be part of the Defence Forces, to be part of the Indian Air Force is something you should never miss. Do you look forward to the day when women in India are inducted into combat roles? Absolutely. And I'm sure it's going to come soon. So hoping
they say this often, women in combat roles, but women have been in the Indian Air Force in combat roles. During Kargil, you had helicopter pilots fighting right. Yes. In fact, I'd interviewed them at that stage. I'd even flown with them on occasion, right in some of the areas where the surface-to-air missiles being fired, shoulder-mounted, guns being fired. So this entire women in combat thing needs to be looked at realistically. Yes,
you're correct. Even if, when we talk about people in the engineering branch or the ADAM or the FC and everybody, so they're contributing immensely towards any combat role, and the kind of work they're doing is no less. There are women officers who are posted in the ALH and everywhere. So it's I think it needs to, if you might be asking me about certain branch only, so I think it's there, it's already in place.
Basically, when you go into combat, it's not just the fighting, that entire combat arm is as a result of lots of support from different arms. All right, well, Wing Commander, it's been fantastic to speak to you, and congratulations. I'm sure it's a great moment for you and your family. Thank you very much for speaking to us. Well, there you have it, Wing Commander Thakur today, who gave the Guard of Honor at Rashtrapati Bhavan to the visiting US President Barack Obama, speaking to us over there. A huge honor for her, for the Air Force, certainly for all the armed forces. It was a tri-services Guard of Honor.